Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you be watching this transmission. This is I, Mike Martins, your housing discussion guru here, bringing you another very special and semi-informative edition of Trends in the Housing Market. I want to thank everyone for supporting this transmission in every way possible. I want to thank everyone that's been there for me lately because of my dad. All the prayers, and a lot of people asking how he's doing, and that means a lot to me that, you guys care. And I care about all you guys too. And, okay, trends in the housing market, man. Fly-by nights. What's going on, guys? What's happening? Well, there's a lot of people walking away from, even renters are walking away from high rents. Mortgage holders walking away, just completely thinking that if they change their cell number, they'll never be found again. Lots of fly-by-nights. And what does that mean? It's a term that was given many years ago when somebody would open shop or business in a small town or a semi-small city and would open shop fresh. No one would know who it is. They'd come in, you'd get some service done, you'd pay for it, they'd take off overnight, you come back and your, whatever you got was no good. Almost like a traveling salesman in a way. Anyways, welcome to Trends in the Housing Market. And here it is, the channel, guys. Let's go over some channel news real quick for 2 minutes here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to support this transmission, don't forget to share one of my videos. No one's getting notifications anymore. People are stating that they're not getting notifications when I go live. I don't know why YouTube is doing this to their creators. It just, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So, okay. So, Disappearing Middle Class, guys. That was a really good show for Mike in the Night last Saturday. So, if you guys missed Mike in the Night last Saturday, go back and check it out. The Disappearing Middle Class. We had 4 or 5 call-ins, people that called in. I got a guy from Australia call in. I had somebody from, from where? Like everywhere. Here in BC, and I think somebody from New York. So it's a really good show. Last week, Trends in the Housing Markets, Wash My Money edition was really good. So we discussed a bit of money laundering and what's happening, especially now that Australia, I think what's going to happen is money laundering. Everyone's like, well, money laundering has been happening for so many years in Australia. Yeah, no. Not as big as it's not as big as you guys would imagine. Canada's money laundering situation with the foreign investing is just in and around $200 billion invested in Canada. They don't know where. They're trying to be as conservative as possible about what's been happening, but it's going to start leaking. Guys, I want to plug WAPTEK, W-P-T-E-K. Always a really good channel, very informative. And you see his ugly mug here on most of his videos, but he's really good at talking about things. And he's really good, like, this guy could be a scientist or a computer, I don't know what, like, this guy's good. So check him out, W-A-P-T-E-K. His channel's been taken down, I don't know, like 50 times now. So he keeps restarting it. WAPTEK. Check him out. Tell him I sent you. When you get to his channel, comment said Mike Martin sent me here. Go check out the WAPTEK channel. It gets pretty addictive when you start listening to what he has to say in some of his videos. Real Kevin Thompson is here. Jimmy B7047. Let's start off right with a Ric Flair. Woo! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. Sandman, check him out, MGTOW Godfather here, founding father of MGTOW. Check him out, see what he's talking about this week. I like this guy. He's got very good content. He's got a ton of subs. This guy is he's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He's commented on a few of my things, and yeah, he's a nice guy. Check out Walking Journey. He called me today to actually ask about my dad. So Walking Journey. Lots of respect for this guy right here. He's at 6,300 subs. Check him out if you haven't. He's a truck driver from Texas, and he left California and moved to Texas to start a better life, which he did. And you should see the house I think he bought it, or he's buying it this week for $210,000. You should see the mansion he's buying. Holy, in Texas for $200,000. Let me see if it says it's not here. I love this video where this drunk guy.
Yeah, pero no está borracho.
Yeah, está borracho. Why are you drunk? This drunk guy went to go buy beer, right?
You're drunk, man. I saw you, man, with the beer coming in the car. I saw you. Yo te vi. Andas borracho, man. This guy's severely drunk, man. I literally saw him falling off the truck, and he just put the Corona in the trash can. I saw him. That's an open container.
There he is calling the cops. He found this drunk guy around. There it is there. He's finding the evidence.
Se ve muy alegre. Está borracho. I don't know, man. I gotta go, man. Ya me tengo que ir, pero eso no está bien, man. Eso es un gabacho mató ahí una niña.
Yeah, but that guy's pretty drunk. Anyways, all right, let's move on here. The typhus has recently broke out in Los Angeles. Oh, we're going to cover that. I got all the different fevers and middle age sicknesses that's happening. Solid Exter, what's up, Mike? What's up? What's up, dog? Real Kevin Thompson, yep. Layla, typhus, and recently broke out in Los Angeles. Yeah, I have some boots in the ground in LA. I think he was in LA yesterday, giving me an insight on what's happening there with burning cars and a bit of civil unrest with the homeless situation they're having in LA County there. Just sold my house in Seattle neighborhood, moving to Eugene, and renting until prices drop. Yes! Yes! Francesca made the right move. She's sold in Seattle, and right now she's still probably at peak. Right now she's still, because Seattle went up so high in such a short time with all that foreign investing that it's phenomenal. Okay, all of America is going to be like that. Gonna get whacked. And BC Matrix in the house. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right, guys. Get off Facebook. Get on Minds, please. I'm on Minds. Come on Minds.com. Minds.com is the new Facebook, and it's like permission to post freely. Here I am there. Look, who's your favorite bully? Come on, join me on there. And I'm trying to upload to BitChute. I'm having trouble uploading to BitChute. There's a problem with BitChute. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm having a really tough time getting my videos to stick. I got a couple of people tell me the same thing. And I'm on Patreon. If you want to buy me a coffee, go ahead and donate $1 a month to Patreon. And I'm also on... I just started these two things. So Subscribestar, I'm on here too. And I got 2 subscribers on Subscribestar. So if you want to be part of that, go ahead and join the party if you want to buy me a coffee. So, yeah, we're going to cover Los Angeles. It's in here. We got some of the UK in here. We got some of Australia in here. And the housing markets. Okay, what's going on? Okay, let's go here. Correct, Mike, a foreign buyer. Yes. Wait. I'm going to go back in the comments here. Motorhomes everywhere. Oh, yeah. Google is so fed up with motorhomes parking in their backyard. Not their backyard, but the streets around them. It's just loaded. I didn't know there was that many homeless people in California. There's like 33,000 people in, I think, LA County. Or LA County area. I'm going to get into the specifics. I got a couple of articles here. I didn't know it was that many. I know there's homeless people in California. There always been homeless people in California. Okay, motorhomes everywhere. I think it's starting in Canada, in Vancouver, and Kelowna. Oh, yeah. Kelowna is out of control right now with their homelessness. I was there a few days ago to see my dad, and I'm going to go back tomorrow. Sorry, guys. I got this Trudeau pop-up here. There it is again. See, Trudeau keeps popping up here in my face. Okay, I think Canada's starting. Yeah, oh, yeah, Canada's starting. The bummage in Vancouver is phenomenal. Okay, hey, Mike. What software do you use for live streaming and making your videos? It's called Camtasia. It's free. Try Camtasia for a month. They give you a free month. It's called Camtasia. T-A-S-I-A. Camtasia. Okay, correct, Mike, foreign buyer. Yeah, you know that. Don't you know it? And where the hell are we? Man. Lots in San Francisco. Oh, San Francisco. Oh, Briggs, are you homeless in Orange County, dude? Dude, you gotta call into the show, man. So, Jimmy B747 saying, Mike, great site to post videos and new vids at newvids.com. Okay, I'll check it out. No biggie. Yeah. So, guys, did you see my morning coffee with Mike? from yesterday, not today, yesterday. Morning Coffee with Mike, and I was discussing, if you guys are, where the hell's Morning Coffee with Mike? I gotta put it up here. Okay, it's under playlists. You go to Morning Coffee with Mike right here, and you go to this video right here. Where is it? It's the one of Australia. Right here. I discuss... Good morning, YouTubers, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Mike. It is, and this morning, I checked my portfolio this morning. Yeah, oil was up. But, okay, here's the deal. With Australia, their dollar's getting so weak that gold is like going crazy there, the price of gold. So if you're in Australia and you bought gold when when the Australian dollar was almost at par with the US, remember that time? It wasn't that long ago. Well, you know what? You're sitting pretty right now with your 40% increase. Yep. So there it is there, guys. I talk about it here with the Australian weak dollar and them discussing to lower rates. And I think they're going to follow in suit with the feds. And yeah, Bitcoin, I covered Bitcoin here too, guys. Morning Coffee with Mike is good. And I'm kind of happy with that. What else is going on in the markets? You're seeing Australian dollar dipped to 68 cents yesterday. It just plateaued down. It plateaued and it dipped to 68 cents. And it kind of stuck at 68 cents for most of the day. Then it went back up towards the end of the day to close back at 69 cents. Not a strong close for the Australian dollar, with them also looking to get rates down to zero or lowering rates to historic levels once again. Anyways, yeah, so there he goes. And Facebook crypto creates their own coin. Yeah, I heard about that. Facebook is trying to be like Minds.com, where they give you coins and stuff. But all right, so let's get on with the show. Let's read some headlines. Look at Los Angeles homeless. Holy crap, man! I didn't know there was this. Like, I know there's homeless people. Okay, there's a lot of people that are down on their luck. So you're telling me that like 8% of the entire population is down on its luck? Something's not right, and it's all economic driven, right? People are talking about Bitcoin here. Facebook crypto create their own coin. Yeah, Facebook is doing that too. But no, Minds.com is the place to be, man. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. Let's get on with the show. Let's read some headlines here from Better Dwelling. Canadian real estate price gains decelerate. Vancouver losses get larger. Remember, guys, when property prices go down, what do? They raise. Come on, guys, you know the answer. Property prices go down, what do they raise? Property tax. Woo! They raise property tax. Of course. How are these cities going to finance their doctors, their garbage, their specialists, their chiropractors, their lawyers? How is the city going to pay for their stuff? Through your taxes. And they're going to raise property tax. In the U.S., they are raising stamp duty tax. And, well, in Australia, stamp duty tax, they're trying to work it out. What they're going to do in Australia in the next, I think, 5 to 10 years, this is just my opinion, they're going to be like Canada, where they charge you monthly on property tax on the value of your property. So I think they might scrap the stamp duty thingy, and they might actually just do it monthly for the rest of your life. In Australia, you pay once for the tax. It's called stamp duty. It's a little bit different than we do in Canada, and I think in the UK it's monthly too. And so is in the United States. But I think they're going to start changing things around to get more money out of you. All right, what do we got going on? I got a fire smoke detector that's losing battery, so it's annoyingly beeping every couple of minutes, which is sweet, but you know. All right, Better Dwelling, what's going on? Canadian real estate prices broke the 7-month losing streak last month. National Bank of Canada house price index numbers show prices made a monthly increase in May. The increase broke a very long losing streak. However, National Bank warned it's not good news. It may appear to be. So basically, it's a dead cat bounce. We talked about this in like 2 weeks ago. A lot of dead cat bounces happening in Toronto, and that gain in Toronto was like, Woo! What happened to that gain in Toronto, people? Nobody knows. Tyrannet National Bank of Canada House Price Index, TNBHPI. Feel free to skip this if you're a regular reader. Let's skip this. Prices made the smallest increase outside the recession. Tyrannet Bank change. Oh my God, look at that. That's so good. Wow. That's impressive. Toronto real estate prices continue to decelerate. Oh, what happened to that huge increase last month? Right here. What happened to the increase last month? Getty Madirj in the house there. Coming from Toronto, Ontario. Gary, if you want to call into the show, give us an update on what's going on, bud. I'd like to hear from you. Maybe call me on Skype. I'd like to know what's going on with you, bud. It's been we haven't talked in about a month now, so if you want to, and I haven't talked to also Moby. I want to get Moby back on the show to give us a little bit of insight on what's happening in his area. I'd like to know. Okay, total real estate price change. Here it is. Oh my God, it's just, look at this. Wow, this is phenomenal. Wow, this is so, look at this 2016. Look at this. Woo! And everyone's buying into this. Oh, this is so good. Let's get on this. Now, people that bought in and around here that couldn't sell, oh man. Oh. Yeah, look at this nosedive. Nosedives are nice. There's no like kind of resuscitation, kind of a little bit of a uptick anywhere. It's just like kaboom, and then you get your dead cat bounce, then it goes back up, and then it's going back down where it belongs. Remember, guys, housing should be an asset, not a commodity. Housing should be for the long term. Raise your family, have kids, lay roots. Not, I'm gonna make $200,000 in a year. And most of those people that make $200,000 in a year don't end up knowing what to do with it anyway, and then they're broke. Yep, Bitcoin. I covered this, guys. Okay, let's go over some financials before we get into any deeper here. Everyone's freaking out. Okay, the Dow is sitting at 26,504. Canadian to U.S. is 75 cents right now. Crude oil is upticking right now in the market at 54.47, almost $55. Yes, and Bitcoin is at 12,398 Canadian. And the 10-year bond is dipping. It's going to be below 2. It's going to go below 2%. The 10-year bond will go to below 10% by the next quarter. The Nasdaq looks like it's kind of pumping on along. The Nikkei is down. Euro is down to 66 cents on the Canadian dollar. So we are looking at what's happening there. Here you go. You guys happy? There you go. All right, where are we? Bitcoin 9280. Yep, that's basically what I said in Canadian dollars. Houses are casino chips. That's right! Roll them dice. Yeah, we need Gary on the phone, man. Gary, man, you gotta call him, man. Dude, preciso falar com você. I need to talk to you, man. You guys know my first language is Portuguese, right? Yep. Congratulations on the Raptors. Yep, big-time Raptors fan and not a bandwagoner. I mean, I'm talking like 1994 or something when they were selling tickets for the Raptors at Shoppers Drug Mart, like the pharmacy, because there was nowhere to buy tickets. You have to buy them at the pharmacy. Okay? Yeah, lots of pressure on the Feds to lower rates. They need to lower rates so they could steal your futures away. Very simple. Oh, what do I use? The mic in the morning? Like mic in the morning show? Mike, what do you use to stream your mic in the morning show? You mean morning coffee with Mike? I just use my camera phone. I just film. I don't edit. I just teleprompter free, people. Walking Journey got a new job. I know he called me today. Walking Journey called me today at the shop. I have a lot of respect for this guy. He calls me at the shop to ask about my dad. There he is there with this drunk guy. This guy is drunk and he's driving. And Walking Journey is right there calling the police. Really upstanding citizen. I like this guy very much, and I have a lot of respect for this guy. So check out his channel, Walking Journey. He's almost at 7,000 subscribers. All right, back to where we were. Better dwelling. Yeah, look, Vancouver real estate price change. Woo! Woo! Look at that. Look at that. It's going good. If you live in Vancouver, you're doing good. Montreal real estate prices reaching new high, record high. We know this. If you've been following the show, the what do you call it? The auctions, the housing auctions, and the price wars and stuff have been happening up in Montreal and Ottawa and Nova Scotia and other parts of Europe like Ireland, Dublin, Belfast, Edinburgh. They're seeing bidding wars. So that's been happening to the rest of the English-speaking world, is getting pretty much bought up by foreign investing. Yeah. JSO Triple X Star saying feeling wood. That's my buddy JSO in Toronto. And Alfmo Gold 1380. Let me check. Yeah, gold is doing good, guys. Yeah, 1381. It just went up in the last 2 minutes, guys. Gold just went up. It's up 32.70 today. Yep. Just watching the markets, overseas markets go right now as we speak. Yeah, gold would be 2,300. Yeah, you know what, guys? I see gold in American dollars, because we're talking about the world reserve currency, will be at 1,400 before the end of next quarter. I honestly see gold sitting at 1,400 US dollars per ounce, per troy ounce. I don't know what silver's doing. I have a lot of silver though. I don't know. I haven't checked silver in a long time. Gas prices dropping again. Yeah, we got that pipeline approved, right? That's why anybody that invested in oil, Canadian oil companies, are having a celebration this week. I've been celebrating all week, enjoying a bit of a gain somewhere. Been paying through the nose for everything lately. What do we got here? Your prediction for Bitcoin in the end of the year? I see Bitcoin steady, but I might see Bitcoin go super nuts. Guys, do not take any financial advice from me because I can't read and I have no education and I'm a Portuguese. So do not take advice from me. Remember, make sure you always consult a professional advisor, okay? Please. What I'm saying, what I see about Bitcoin, and I'll tell you straight up, I see Bitcoin going up in these increments for a long while. I see the next 7 quarters of Bitcoin growth. I could probably predict by Christmas, Bitcoin might be sitting at 17, maybe 14 to 17 large, maybe a bit more. I'm not sure. You know why? Because a lot of foreign investors are finding Bitcoin a great tool to get their money offshore. Buy Bitcoin. By the time they arrive in Canada or the US, they could sell their Bitcoin off and basically find a way to funnel money through Bitcoin because it's untrackable, it's blockchain, and this is everybody, every money launderer's dream. Instead of having to layer money, you could actually just put it through cryptocurrency, right? Yeah, Bitcoin's at 93. I see it at 17 large by Christmas, maybe. So I could be more, but you know what, guys? Remember, I'm not a financial guy, so global reserve currency is still the US dollar. It's still pegged. We don't know how long that's going to be. Bitcoin is censorship resistance money. That's correct. It can be manipulated. It's like a snake. I see Bitcoin. You know how I see Bitcoin? I see it as a snake, like a serpent with 100 heads. Every time you cut one head off, there's another head to cut off. No matter what you try to do to destroy it or disturb Bitcoin, you can never kill it. It'll just keep going, right? So, all right. Montreal real estate doing well, of course. Here it is. Here's the graph. Look at that. It's going like Montreal real estate. It's been up and down. Remember, guys, this is percentage-wise. This is not dollar-wise, so nobody freak out here. Calgary real estate drops 3 points. Things might change with the pipeline approval in Calgary. And here is the Calgary. Wow, they're underwater about 3 points right now in Calgary. Thank Better Dwelling, our friends over at Better Dwelling, for supplying us. Canadian real estate sales make largest increase in 2 years. Still below normal, but it's still below normal. And it's because of Montreal, guys. Montreal, Ottawa, Nova Scotia. Here it is. You're seeing some gains in sales here. Real estate sales change. Obviously, it's going to go up. And let's see what cities right here. So you're getting Toronto getting a bit of an uptick here. So there's your, 2017. There it is. Toronto's moving up in sales. Montreal, of course. There's Vancouver. But remember, these guys, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver have a lot more inventory on their markets. They have a lot more inventory. They have an oversupply of inventory on their markets. Calgary does too. So when there's more to buy, there is more options, right? And there's more for sale. You're obviously going to sell more, right? But what are people paying? That's the question. Here's the change. Look at that. Quebec, Toronto. Toronto's moving up. Gatineau, Quebec. And then Saskatoon. Winnipeg is seeing positive changes. Look at this. Calgary. Look at this. Niagara Falls. Ottawa. Canada as a whole. So that's your aggregate right there. That's your, not your aggregation, your benchmark there. Then you got Montreal. Then you got Windsor. You got Edmonton. Then you got London in the pits. Oh, look at Waterloo. Vancouver. Fraser Valley. I'm in the Fraser Valley, Thompson, Nicola area, right? Look at that. Look at that change. 14.36 points. And you know who's in that? Kelowna is in there. And if you see what's been happening in Kelowna with the homeless issue, per capita, I did a video on my channel. If you want to see it, it's about Kelowna. Let's go back to my channel here. Nobody panic. Good morning, YouTubers, and welcome to... Nobody panic, okay? Let me show you here, Kelowna. I did a video on the homeless situation in Kelowna. Is Kelowna poop hole? Is Kelowna poop hole follow-up on location? This one here from a month ago. It's got almost 5,000 views. This one's good because I actually film on the streets and show you guys what is happening. And, man, it's getting really sketchy there because you got the tourists and then you got the bummage. And they're kind of mixing in with the tourists. There's like no kind of divide. There's a couple of streets that are very sketchy, but they're all mixed in with the tourists and people taking pictures. And that was kind of scary a bit. I'm not scared of the people. I'm saying I'm scared for my kids and my daughter and my family, right? So something that needs to be addressed with their city council and what they're going to do, right? All right, guys, here it is. Los Angeles. Oh, my God. Let's get some fake news up here, guys. CNN, fake news. No, these guys can go to hell. Let's get rid of this. CNN's garbage. Okay, here we go. We got Fox News right here.
Los Angeles is reaching a boiling point. Fox News' Christina Coleman has been following this story straight from LA. Christina, you got to tell us, how bad has it gotten right now?
Well, these residents say very bad. These people, they took to the steps of City Hall today to address this. They're very frustrated with the homeless population crisis in the city.
I have a friend that was there today in that area seeing this. He called me up to let me know.
They say they want the mayor to step down. Now, these petition organizers say this is not a political stunt. This is a drastic humanitarian effort. Now, just to put this into perspective, just how much the homeless population has grown, a population count released last week shows 36,000.
Yeah, I said 33,000. I'm sorry, it's 36,000.
Homeless people living in the city, a 16% increase.
In the city! In the city! In the city, not in the cities in California.
Over last year. In addition to the petition, these frustrated residents are also setting up an official committee to get more signatures for the petition. They say the mayor's lack of inaction and failed leadership has led to people living in third world conditions in the city of Los Angeles.
It is time, Eric Garcetti, that you accept your failure and that you step down. We demand you step down before the citizens of Los Angeles recall you.
As for the mayor, he held his own press conference, rolling out new plans to deploy sanitation teams in the city to clean streets and address homeless encampments. He says the city has put forth plenty of effort, but needs to do more.
Well, a lot of these people were bought out of the markets. A lot of these people work too, eh? I spoke to someone over Skype a month, maybe two. Wow, Los Angeles County has 58,936 homeless residents. That's LA County. But the city of Los Angeles has 37,000 or 36,000 homeless. That's Los Angeles County. Then how many do you have in San Bernardino, Orange County? How many homeless do you have in Mesa Nostra, like all those other cities, like San Jose, San Francisco? Like how many? Oh, there's Trudeau again. Hi, sweetie. So how many? Here we go, Lost Canuck in the house. Buddy, what's up? Yo, Lost Canuck, I know you're just joining us. LA County, just LA County has 58,936 homeless people. And there's 36,000, I think, in just LA, the city of Los Angeles. Just the city of Los Angeles. Imagine your city have 36,000 homeless people. Does your city even have 36,000 people? Well, not me. In my city, I got, I think it's 7,000 in my city. All right, let's continue this. This is very depressing.
Homelessness is a massive emergency in our city. It's a crisis unlike anything that we've seen before. But I've always said I believe a human-caused problem, no matter how many decades in the making, can be a human-solved problem as well.
Petition organizers will need more than 300,000 valid signatures to get the recall on the ballot. And by the way,
you got 36,000 homeless alone. Then you got maybe 70, 80,000 people that live in those areas that are being affected by this homeless. You could get those signatures in like 3 days. Believe me, not even.
Mayor Garcetti won re-election in 2017 rather, with 80% of the vote. So definitely an uphill battle for these organizers, one they say they're prepared to fight. Christina?
Thank you very much for your report, Christina. So, gang, do we think, even if we get all the signatures or not, do you think that the mayor is responsible and should be stepping down? And Mark, I'm going to direct this question at you first.
Well, you guys need to know something, okay? In LA, in Los Angeles, the problem is they've been getting bought out by foreign investing since the early 2000s, guys. Okay, it started with California trying to compete for rich investors to come into California. I still remember the advertising they made about it and bringing in more rich investors to California, and they were bringing in a lot of money from China, some money from Saudi Arabia, a little bit of money from Russia, and they got the rich investors to come in and to invest in California, but a majority of them just invested in houses. It was one of the safest measure. And then in 2006 and 2007, you had that crash. And then it tailed into 2008, and they started rebuilding a bit in 2009 with the quantitative easing and cutbacks. And 2010, things looked a little bit fresher. 2011, it got better. And then now we're back at this situation, right? So, like, and then Kevin Thompson is saying it straight up. These politicians live in mansions, and this is what's happening.
Political platitudes, and not a lot on the action side. And he's going to have to watch out for it, because these are the things that really bother voters, regardless of party.
Yeah, so I was looking at the homeless statistics, and we heard that the homelessness in LA went up 16% over last year. So 58,000 of those without shelter. Compared
58,000. There's maybe, how big Canada is, right, guys, on the map? There's maybe 7 cities or 10, maybe 10 cities in all of Canada that have more than 58,000 people in the whole country of Canada. There's maybe 8 cities. Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton. I mean, I don't know how many cities we know in Canada have over 58,000 people. That's homeless in LA County.
that to New York, 77,000 homeless in this city. And then, of course, we hear a lot about San Francisco and the temp populations. San Francisco has only 28,000. So I think...
Only 28,000? You're making it seem like that's only 28,000 homeless people. So you got 28,000 plus 70, what was that in LA County? 50 something, right? You're already starting to beat most of the cities in Canada with just the homelessness in the state of California.
I feel like it's not just an LA problem. It's a financial, big city issue that obviously requires money, budget, and care.
Well, I think, Susan, it's also mental health, too. If you notice, they haven't spent too much or enough, let's say, on mental health services for these folks either, which is mainly some of the problems that you have with homelessness. So if they would actually maybe redirect some of the funds, yes, it's going to be difficult to build affordable housing given where a lot of those people are and the real estate prices and the cost of building.
There we go. Real estate prices. Merry Christmas. It's about time somebody brought this up.
But mental health services definitely need to get some focus here.
Yeah, actually, to your point, Scott, there's a statistic coming out that roughly now the LA population, the homeless population, about 25% are suffering from some type of mental illness, and in San Francisco it's 35%. But we have Google most recently investing money in affordable housing. So should we be relying or going after these big corporations to help out in some of these?
The problem is when the corporations start to give to the communities, you see what the corporations start doing is they start to give, and they start giving essentials or things that people need. And then once you give something a little taste of the better life, they control you, they own you. Right? And that's why you got to be careful with taking handouts from these big corporations. Give people a taste of the better life, and then they own you, they control you. You take away, you know what's going to happen, right? Okay, I got a lot of comments here. Gary, I'll call you tomorrow, bud. Yeah, Gary, I spoke to Steve yesterday's show, if you watch. Speedy Biker 91 says, I know someone who went to LA last year and was surprised of how dirty it was and how much poverty there is. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Francesca says, after 93 riots, gentrification of old black neighborhoods pushed back and Hispanic communities together. Real Kevin Thompson, I need to start building McMansions. Gary Madero says, all good, Steve. I know you're a busy bud. Brother John saying 25% mental illness, no different than those who are not homeless. I mean, yeah. Lost Connect say, what do you call 4 men in a room? Steve, Gary, Mike, and Mario, the real truth. Yeah! Horizonian Bucket says, no hope because it's all tied up in too many laws, bad mental health. Low Roller Scratcher saying, why these people refuse to move to different states? Mike Martins. Well, 1, California is a sanctuary state. Number 2, it's liberal. And in other states, I know it's very tough to get away with some of, breaking specific, it's there in these sanctuary states. It's kind of like Seattle, the city of Seattle, where it's a bunch of police with foam mallets. They just hit you with the foam mallets. Bad boy. And the police hands are tied. And in sanctuary cities, the police can't really enforce the law. They need to be close to the soup kitchen. No, I don't know if it's that, Kevin. There's a lot of educated people who are homeless. It could happen to them. Yeah, that's very true. And you know what the scary part is about this homeless thingy here? You know what the scary part is of this, guys? Is that I don't want my kids. My kids are just out of the womb. My son's turning 5 tomorrow. My daughter's like 3, and my other baby, they're out of the womb. And I don't want them to look at this and say, maybe they're going to have to face that one day. It's look, so many people. It's probably a normal thing you got to go through in life. No, it's not, because it never was. Now they're massaging us into believing that this is going to probably happen to you once in your life or twice, and you're just going to have to deal with it. No. This shouldn't be happening. Not at this. Do you remember back in the day when you were, think about when you were young, a child growing up, and you had the 1 or 2 hobos in your town that everybody knew. Everybody knew them because everybody could smell them and everyone could see them. And probably mental health problem, one or two hobos, right? And people will give them a sandwich or give them some money sometimes or do something. That's okay. You see, because we know who they are, you know, what they're about, and they're harmless, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's in the tens of thousands and 20, 30,000 people. What does California have? 1 million homeless when you start calculating all the numbers of every city? Hey, Mike, look at the camera, not the screen. Okay, man. I look at the screen so I can read the comments when you guys are talking, right? So, mental issues not the problem. It's overpriced. House is the problem, big time. Big time. How's it? Big time. Big time. It's supposed to be first. It's supposed to be a first world country. Suppose is the key. No, it's is the suppose is the support word in there. Yeah, suppose is the key word right there. Brother John, hey Mike, look at the camera. Yeah, I saw that. Steve, we are getting record prices in the condo market. There's no deals for anything under 700 large. Piasso says if everyone are nomad homeless will never be a problem. Okay, Trollnot says my building got taken over by squatters and drug dealers overnight. Wow. Real Kevin Thompson says over 700 large is down over 100K. Steve the Plumber says I see Kevin. And low wages equals housing depression. We can't get people massaged into believing that this is normal. This is not normal. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give in to the new normalities that we're supposed to be adjusted to. I'm not adjusting to this. This is not normal. And that's why I'm bringing it up here on the show.
These states like California?
I don't think we should be going after the big corporations. I think it's great that these big corporations like Google are doing something.
This guy's paid off.
Something like this. I completely agree.
Once they give you a taste of the better life, then they can take it away at any time. And that's how they own you.
Agree with you, Christina and Scott, about talking about the mental crisis. But if you need housing,
didn't want to come in. They didn't want a government house. They liked living the way they were living. And so we have to have that mental health capacity. We have to have the health. We have to have the opioid and the drug addiction programs available to them. But also, it's a long-term problem that many cities are facing.
Very true. There's actually Senator Kamala Harris that brought up the human right, and she proposed a LIFT Act to give lower-income working families a tax credit of $6,000 per year. So do we think that that could be a potential solution, panel?
That's a start. That's a start, Christina. It depends what they do with it, though, because...
Yeah, low-income families. I mean, why are they taxing? Because it's the low-income families that actually pay. It's the blue-collar workers, the lower-income families that actually pay their way when it comes to infrastructure. The less you make, the more you pay to the man. Just watching the comments here. How much is, okay, we got people talking about housing there. All right. Oops.
As Mark pointed out, you know, some of these folks get services offered to them and they don't take them. So it's getting the horse to water and then obviously forcing him to drink that really would come into play here. But I do think, though, if you do address some of the mental health issues, that will actually help people realize that maybe there's a brighter future ahead and they can move forward.
I'm surprised you just said that's a start, because I just, told you about Senator Harris that suggested giving $6,000 a year, which is coming from taxpayers' money, to families. You're okay with that?
Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere. I mean, whether it's 6,000, 3,000, whether, like you mentioned, you go after some of the local corporations.
Yeah, but if you give back people, if people pay, okay, what he was trying to say, if they pay $6,000 less in tax, not giving them pay $6,000 less and get an increase in their pay, obviously goes up because they're paying less tax, then they could invest more money into the local communities and spend more money and shop. Anyways, let's move over. Let's move on. Move along. These aren't the droids we're looking for. Sydney and Melbourne homes are selling hot again as auction sales hit year highs. This, I have to tell you this right here. Right there. I don't believe this because auctions are not back. And with the stress testing and the return of confidence has been credited to multiple factors, including cheaper borrowing due to the interest rate cut and preservation of negative gearing and capital gains concessions following the federal election. I believe they're making sales, but
$275.
okay, yeah, I'm not going to look at that there. After a prolonged period of decline in Sydney and Melbourne, which saw real price falls of 16.5% and 11.8% respectively from their recent peaks, both have enjoyed the boom in sales over the last week. Oh, boom! Oh, there's Trudeau again. Little cutie. Keeps popping up on my screen here. Trudeau's got a message for me. What does it say here? Okay. Sorry, I don't speak English. All right. Okay. Got lots of comments here. Yeah, government uses homeless to spend more, to tax more, to enforce new tax, and give money to lobbyists. Kevin Thompson saying, financing got a lot harder for higher-priced homes. First-time buyers are still not... Where did I go? I lost that. Steve is saying, above 700 large was the lowest sold price, and 1.2 million was the highest sold price. And then Francesca says in 1973, California Proposition 13, a freeze on property taxes for older homeowners, homeless, forcing older communities out. Oof. Jacob, 1986 says America and Canada first. It's a big deal, people. It's a big deal. I got, who do I got here on Skype here? I want Gary to call in. I want to know what the hell is going on with Gary. Is the Lost Canuck, he's here. Let me call Mario, man. I want to see what Mario's up to. I'm getting depressed about this whole 56,000 homeless people in LA County. It's really bugging me. Like, this kind of stuff is, you can't make this stuff up, you know what I'm saying? Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Yo, what's up, dog?
Not much, buddy. How are you on this beautiful Wednesday night?
Oh, it's still evening here, and it's still sunny outside where I'm at.
Yeah. I'm jealous, buddy. I'm jealous. Actually, we're getting good weather, man.
Oh, it's about time. It's been 30 Celsius here for the last 2 months.
No, here we just got over 24, 25 a couple days now, so I'm happy.
All right, guys.
Summer's going real good. Anyway,
Hold on. I got Mario here, the Lost Canuck, on the channel on the trends in the housing market. He's been following the pensions and what's been going on. He's broadcasting out of Barrie, Ontario. So, buddy, what's going on? Did you see that homeless situation in California?
Oh, man. And you know what troubles me, Mike, is when that reporter says there's only 28,000 in San Francisco.
What is that supposed to mean? Only?
I know, like, are we looking at lower numbers, or are we just saying that instead of saying one is too many, Mike? We all know that. One is way too many.
But this lady doesn't understand that San Francisco has a bigger population than LA County, right? So
That's
if
right.
you went per capita, San Francisco might have more homeless people than LA County because of per capita.
Yeah, and I wanted to give you and Steve, I called Steve today. I like your video, the YouTube video you guys did. I think it was last night or the night before.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about decreases in sales in certain areas, especially in Vaughan. I guess people are starting to wake up. I guess Vaughan is getting hit now.
Oh, dude, when I was, when I was in my early teens, or so mid-teens, when I got my first car, driving around to these cities were nothing. When I was go to Woodbridge, it was still under development. I still remember when they built that Colossus movie theater there.
Yeah, that used to be a drive-in, buddy.
Yeah, like I was watching these places develop, and then I went back to Richmond Hill when I went back to Toronto when I saw you, remember?
Yeah.
I went through there again. It's unidentifiable.
You were here last year at this time, buddy.
Yeah, we were hanging out.
Yeah, we were here. The other thing I want to talk about, Mike, is my buddy out in the East, Christian. send me something that Loblaws is offering people severances and paying them pensions for them to leave, full-time employers in Newfoundland. So we're looking at, it's not just about pension, it's about full-time work. I think they're eliminating that in retail. It's been going on for the past 10 years. It's been slowly declining, but I think this is the icing on the cake now. I think we've lost the definition of full-time work in retail. That's what we're losing.
We're losing consumer confidence too on top of that, and a lot of companies are not investing in human capital anymore, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and like I said, wages. Okay, I was watching the Kaiser report the other day. He was just talking about something, and he actually brought up something that I always talk about. Do you know what minimum wage is supposed to be at? I actually found this out from watching his show. In Canadian, I converted it from Canadian dollars from American. Do you know what minimum wage is supposed to be at if we want to correlate with 1982? So what you made in 1982 with your buying power, right? With how much you could buy in 1982 with what you made at minimum wage, right? Do you know how much it's supposed to be at today?
No, I didn't even look at that.
$52 an hour.
For minimum wage.
That's what it's supposed to be at if you want to correlate buying power from 1982.
Yeah.
Because in 1982, your $2 an hour bought you more than what your $20 an hour buys you today.
1982, Mike, you can buy a car probably $7,500. Brand new car.
A good one.
Yeah.
Made in downtown Detroit.
Like a luxury one. $7,500 is an okay one.
Yeah. And
it's.
You could buy a house. You could still buy a house down in Oakville in '82 for about $66,000.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. When you get down to it real deep, it's greed. It's corruption. It's laundering money. What bothers me, Mike, more than anything, is we're not seeing the declines that we should be seeing. Mm-hmm. We're not, and all this information that's coming out, and of course the propaganda media, I call it, they don't want to indicate it that we're in debt crisis right now, in a stage where people got to work 2-3 jobs just to keep a family afloat.
And we're not talking about vacations and Venetian hotels. We're talking just to pay the rent and eat.
Yeah, so a family of 4, you got to make at least $4,500 to $5,500 a month just to pay 2 cars on your driveway, insurance, mortgage or rent, food, and when some people say they spend $400 or $500 a month on food, I don't know what the hell they eat, because my wife, she buys all good food, and she goes out and she taught me how to use the flip. So, and we're spending, close to $1,000, $1,200 a month just on food. There's 5 of us to eat in the house. You go buy meat, you go buy this. It doesn't take much. $200-300 a week, it's gone.
Oh, $200-300 a week, you could smoke that, dude. It's nothing.
Yeah. So and it's funny how we look outside our own neighborhoods. We see the houses for sale, but nobody knows what happens under their bank accounts and their I guess you can say what they carry, what kind of debt they carry.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. And we're seeing like strengths in the market at time, like some sort of a strength or revitalization. And then a week later, everyone's tapping into their HELOCs, and that's how they're doing well. Yeah. And, I was talking to Steve about it. I've noticed a lot of the houses that sold in 2016, 17, they're back on the market. And it's funny that we're seeing this. And I said it previously on your video, not the one before, probably a couple times before back, that we're going to actually see people that are getting desperate now. People that are way over their budget, and they're trying to sell it even if they take a loss. They might take a 30-40 grand loss, but they want to get out of this debt. And what troubles me is the MPAC, which controls the actual definition of what your house is really worth, and that's what the property tax is evaluated at, is not enforced enough.
because
See that
now
last part again. It's not enforced stuff. What'd you say?
it's not enforced enough.
It's not
Meaning
enforced
that,
enough. Okay, yes.
yeah, like MPAC, if they came to the house that I sold, the townhouse, this house would be worth 265.
Right.
Okay, and it ends up selling for 424. So you're 200 grand almost more than what it's worth.
Right.
And we said it, me and you, on the video before. If we take what's the market today and pay the property tax we are today, everybody be broke.
Yeah.
Everybody be broke,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
you'd be finished.
you know, you look at elderly people. Now we're in a boom time with pensioners, right? You look at elderly people that, you know, 78, 70, 75, they're still going to get a part-time job, and some of them say, oh, just, you know, extra time, I got nothing to do. You don't have enough money to pay your bills.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, and
That's
it's
the
sad.
bottom line. Yeah.
Sad.
It's like when you see people in the lineup and they're buying a bottle of ketchup and they're using their Visa and they're saying, "Yeah, I'm trying to collect points." You don't collect points buying a bottle of ketchup or buying a jar of peanut butter with your Visa.
No. Now you know, and this is a thing that troubles me even more. I have two builders that are building here in Barrie. One guy told me they sold already. They're on the 4th phase. Now, I told the guy, yeah, okay, maybe they're on the 6th phase. You don't know how many houses are on the 1st phase, number one. Number two is they're not closed deals. These are just people that put deposits on. So nobody's been pre-approved. It's a non-building, new build. So there's nothing going on. How many are going to walk away? We don't know. It's been going on for the last year now. People are just walking away $60,000 to $100,000 of money sitting in the builder's account, and they walk away thinking that the house is not worth it anymore. Now we have these new builds going up. So my question is to you, Mike, where do you think is going to pay all these builders when they're delinquent? When these houses are just sitting there?
The taxpayers.
Exactly. So that means the city of Barrie or the city of Milton or the city of Oakville is going to have about 10, let's say even 5,000 homes. They can't sell. The builder ends up going bankrupt on that site. And you got 5,000 homes sitting or 500 homes sitting. You know, if people would take the information that we get today, especially on property tax here in Barrie, there was a big article. I've always advertised this. 13 million behind on property tax. 13 million. Okay.
Vancouver, I think was 44 million behind in property tax.
Yeah, but how many people are in Vancouver, Mike, and how many people are in Barrie?
No, I understand that, but Vancouver is behind. But the article I'm referencing is from 3 years ago, so it could be a lot worse than it is today.
I think it is. I think Barrie is being very generous not to put liens on their properties because they can after 2 years.
Okay.
I don't think that's happening.
Okay, do you remember that article I read? It was about 8 months ago, referenced from Better Dwelling, where people have not been paying their property tax, but they've been using their home equity through the city.
Yes.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's death. That's playing with the devil, dude.
And you know, and we're gonna see a lot of. I think what we're gonna see now, Mike, is unemployment is not updated, and I'll explain something to you how the unemployment system works. It's a false information because what happens is, how many people own businesses? And when I'm talking businesses, I'm talking in the construction industry, which is piecework. Okay, people have to understand these guys own companies. So what they do is they get paid by piecework. So if they're not working, they're not part of the unemployment rate or the unemployment schedule or the unemployment data because they're not paying into the federal tax in that system. They're paying what's called a company, corporation, whatever it is. So right now, we've lost 70% of our workforce in the new homes development. Okay? And that's just an easy number. Because I've talked to a lot of guys out there.
These are blue collar,
yes,
right? Middle class jobs, and they're private sector. They're the private sector that support the public sector. And when you lose that much workforce, who's going to pay the cops to arrest you?
I don't know. There's guys that've been home 4 or 5 months. They just went back to work to do a few houses. There's a site, I think I told you, it's up in Emvale. It's just a little north here. It's about 45 minutes away from Barrie. And they sold those houses 2.5 years ago. They sold out the site. They haven't even started building yet. We're in summer. This is summer months. This is when we're supposed to be at the peak of building and people working. So they haven't still, I don't think they haven't even dug yet. I'll give you an update on that one. But it's, I don't know what to say. You know, like my wife and I, we drive by, we're just wondering, and Gary Medeiros is out there, Steve the plumber's out there. We're just waiting for a correction that is suitable for everybody. So even if that person owns that house, Mike, let's take an instance, me and you, we own our house, okay? Mm-hmm. And today's market, we can sell it for $1 million. Okay, this is what people are so brainwashed and understanding of value of a dollar, okay? So you sell your house for $1 million, you downsize, you buy something for $800,000. So you're left with $200,000. Let's say we have a correction. Now our house is worth $350,000. The house we want to buy is worth $150,000. Do you catch my drift?
Yeah.
So you're actually going to walk away with more money in your pocket. It's not money you had. It's not money in your bank account. It's only an item that you can sell what the market is selling today. But what you're going to buy next to it is the market, what it's valued, what you sold your house for. So people don't understand. What I don't understand is this guy's selling a house for $700,000, sells his house for $700,000, wants to buy a bigger house, goes and buys one for $900,000. But meanwhile, if we have a correction, he sells his house for $400,000. He ends up buying that house for $550,000.
Right.
And that's what we need. We need a recalibration of the whole system itself.
You want things to go back to the where they were 11 years ago.
Exactly. If me and my wife want to buy a detached bungalow or house, I'm willing to pay $350,000. I'm willing to pay $300,000.
Yeah, you're not going to pay $1.2 million for detached bungalow.
No. I'd rather rent the rest of my life. I'm sorry, but I'm not putting myself into that.
And then on that property value, you're going to have to pay at least $7-8 large a year in property tax.
That's right. That's right.
What's the point? Like, I mean,
and what's the point? And then when you retire, everybody thinks a house is such a big bank account.
It was, but if you bought in the 80s and 70s, it was okay.
Yes, it was okay.
Yeah.
Now we're at the point where people are trying to readjust themselves so they can spend more money or get more money back. And it's sad because, like you said from the beginning, a house should not be that kind of investment. A house is for a family to be raised in, grow up in, and then when you decide to sell, you downsize, you're left with a little bit of money, but you got no debt. That's the truth.
I upset you last week. I think it was last week or the week before when I showed you those houses for like 7 bedrooms for like $100,000. Remember?
Oh, my wife and I look at that internet all the time. We go in the States.
I've always done that.
Yeah, she looks at all this stuff. We were looking at Texas. Some of the houses were going for like $210,000. But if you see the houses,
and they have like 11 bedrooms and a pool.
Yeah. I told her if I can find a job there, I'd go.
Yeah, all my exes live in Texas.
All your exes.
Yeah, I'm joking.
I was gonna say, how many you have?
Okay. Anyways, listen, Mario. I went to a Donald Trump power sales seminar in Fort Lauderdale when I used to live in Florida, and I bought a ticket to go see some power selling techniques, and this was before the Apprentice show.
Okay.
So when I was living in Florida, and this was when Donald Trump was pretty much broke, and he said something that made so much sense, and I've said it to you, I've said it to Steve, I've said it to everybody, and I'll say it again. And this goes back to what you were talking about, buying a house for $900,000 and this and that. Some of the deals, Mario, listen, put your glasses on. I want you to get serious here. Some of the best business deals that you will do in your life are some of the ones you never do at all.
Yeah, I know. I love that saying, man.
Isn't that true? Some of the best business deals you'll ever make are the ones you never do at all.
That's right. It's true.
Yep.
Very true, man.
Yep.
Very true. So let me ask you this, Mike. What do you think's going to happen in Toronto by the end of this summer?
Either everybody is going to have to make like a 36% increase in wages, which is not going to happen. Either they're going to have to lower property tax so that could give a little bit of wiggle room with the stress test. And I don't
That's
see
not-
them lowering property tax because they have to include property tax in the stress test. So if they lower property taxes, that'll give a little bit of more room monthly for the mortgage payment. They're not going to do that. The only way I see them doing this and subsidizing for Toronto is if they add a Toronto tax. So they might add a GTA tax. You might have your GST, your government services tax, your provincial tax for Ontario, and your Toronto tax.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
2 or 3%. They're going to have to add that on added value.
That clown rent.
Yeah. They're going to have to do that. They have no choice. Or you're going to see a mass exodus of people. How many people are leaving Toronto? Thousands. So
Yeah, that or they're going to do what they were trying to do in Vaughan, and they're fighting it, is to renew your stickers for your vehicles. So if you live in the city of Vaughan, they want to charge you an extra $60 a year.
yeah, okay.
You heard
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
right?
They're going to start doing
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse things like that.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, especially in the city of Vaughan.
Well, they're going to
Like city of Vaughan, Mike, beautiful place. I got nothing against it. But just the traffic and congestion is really bad.
Yeah, I told you. See, the problem is by the year 2000, do you remember when we were kids, Mario? We'd always tell our friends, or we'd be talking about how we're going to have flying cars in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, we don't have flying cars in the year 2000. We should have had flying cars in the year 2000. We wouldn't be in this traffic mess today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no.
See what happens when you don't let in too many Italians? That's what happens.
Yep. We're in a lot of trouble right now, and I don't know what's going to happen with these cities, especially when you know how many doctors and registered nurses are telling me that they're moving to like Tennessee, South Carolina.
What was that one that was on your show one time? She moved. She was a nurse, 80,000 or something here, and she decided to move. And I think she moved to Florida.
Yeah, she moved to.
I don't know. You were talking about.
Yeah, Ocala, Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
She bought like a big house with a pool for 160,000. I think it was under 200.
That's right.
I think we should buy one from this.
I think we're gonna buy one. My wife and I are talking about it. We might buy a place in the States for an investment.
Yeah.
Because I rather do that. At least I got something, because I don't see them doing a correction, Mike. Because I'll give you a perfect example. It's not about us being right. People gotta understand. I said this before in your show. Sometimes I don't want to be right, Mike. If you know what I mean. This is a chaos, because there's a lot of pension money hiding behind all this as we're talking about the housing market. So you're going to hurt a lot of people, and physically, mentally, whatever you want to call it. It happened in Europe, and it's going to happen here the way we're talking. So I'm kind of disappointed in our government. I always have been. I've given up voting now, because it seems to me whoever we go in power, they don't do anything for us. They just do it for themselves and the 1%. And I guess you can call it the leftists, the lobbyists, whatever you want to call it. I'd rather see a government that I put in there, or we put in there, as people that do something, but, and it's not the NDP, it's not the Liberals, it's not the PC. I want to see a new party change it, just like Quebec. If you see the reason why, I don't know if you heard, the rumor is in Quebec now, is he's trying to put in a tax now for foreigners, not just buying homes. If they decide to sell, he wants to put in a 60% tax bill.
Paris did that. France.
Yes. So if he does that, I call him a hero, because that's how you're going to stop laundered money. And what he wants to do is, he doesn't want no casinos taking laundered money. He wants to see everything going through the banks.
Yeah.
So everything is
the
audited.
casinos are Mickey Mousing a lot of money too. They've even, did you see that article where universities were doing it too?
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, universities were.
They don't have to show.
They're taking tuition, and people get the refund, so they'll only get 50% back for dropping out of the course. But one guy would apply for 3,000 courses and get back 50% on every course, and the other 50% goes to the university, and they don't say nothing about it because the university is making a mint.
Yeah. Here's a question I want to ask you, and the listeners. Who owns the universities, Mike?
Well, it's the big oligarchs, the big guys that sit on top that decide, you know, what's going on with what. The people that run those communities and towns. It's the people up top. It's like factory owners, production managers. Like big guys are the ones that run those universities. The board. They have a board of like 8 or 10 people on the board, and they're all handpicked to be there to represent the universities. You know.
That's right. So if you rent a dorm on a university property and you send your kids there, you cannot claim that on your taxes. You know that, right?
I did not know that till now.
Yeah. So what happens is if you rent Joe that has a bungalow across the street from the university, it's maybe a 15, 20-minute walk, and you put your kid there and you pay the rent, you can write it off in taxes. Mm-hmm. As an income tax, okay? Mm-hmm. But if you go into a dorm where they're spending $10,000, $15,000 a year just to live there for eight months of the year, 9 months of the year, you cannot claim that on taxes, okay? So what bothers me more than anything is this is all on property. This is all on boards of directors that run these universities. So there's nobody, you know, nobody's governing this issue. So there's Trudeau's writing off, what, 400 million of unpaid student loans. How many are foreigners? How many come here and apply for these loans?
Yeah, majority of these are people that got their education and they took off.
Yeah.
And remember that article I read about people, foreign students coming into Canada and they're running up their credit cards and then they take off back to China and they don't pay their credit card debts back?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading that article too.
Yeah, so... yeah, it's pretty harsh the way things are headed, man. Are you going to be on Mike in the Night? I don't know what to do for Mike in the Night.
You're running out of ideas, buddy. Sometimes it's too late. I get tired. Get up. My wife kills me on Saturdays, man.
Yeah.
She makes me work hard on Saturdays.
I'm just thinking what to do for Mike in the Night this Saturday. Mike in the Night's going to be a big show.
What day is it Saturday? 22nd?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing for Mike in the Night. Everyone's so a low royal scratcher saying to do a Bitcoin show. Maybe we should do a Bitcoin special. I don't know. I don't know enough about Bitcoin, right?
I don't know too much either. I should have bought it when it was cheap. That's all I know.
Should have bought it when it was at $4.
I know. But anyway, that's you know, that's the chance. That's the chance. You know, you got to be at the right place at the right time.
Or you have to know the right people.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife keeps saying it. The prices aren't falling. Yes, we know, sweetheart. We know. We know. We know. Gary Medeiros is listening to you too.
Yes. Yes. Maybe we could do a central bank show, but that might get me...
Yeah, okay, Mike. So we get black flagged.
Yeah, I know. I got to be careful with what I talk about because
no,
my channel's been in huge decline for the last month and a half, eh? I'm getting more subscribers. I used to be at 2.4 million views on average per month, and I've dropped down to less than 700,000.
Unless they're not reporting it, who knows what
no,
they're doing?
They're not. No, there's something happening. My subscription, like people are subscribing to the channel, more people than ever. I got more people viewing my channel when I had 2,000 subs than when I have 10,000.
That's right.
So something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I don't know. I just I pray every night that these houses get affordable for everybody, not just for me. Everybody. It'll put everybody back to work. We get everybody back to a stronger economy. Now we passed that trans pipeline. Now he's got no choice.
He has no choice. And my oil stocks did really well, Mario, because of that.
Yeah. How did Baytech do?
I didn't do Baytex. I did Crescent Point.
Yeah.
And Crescent Point did really well when I bought it. I bought it in 2 dips, and then I bought Suncor on the first and the second dip.
How much did it go up?
Suncor went up a couple of cents, but Baytex went up. Sorry, Crescent Point went up. I think like 3 or 4 or 7 cents, and I know the pipeline went down and then it went back up. And then the other one, I'm invested in like 6 companies, right? So I'm kind of diverse with oil. So,
Yeah, no,
but
that's
my
good.
my overall overall as well. Overall is good. All those little percentages add up, you know.
Yeah, it's something my wife and I are talking about. We haven't invested in anything yet. We're just waiting to see what was going to happen this summer because me and Steve been talking. I think July something's going to happen. I really do. I think a lot of people are going to be in shock, especially what's going to happen down south. It's going to be a big announcement coming out. I know you know that.
Mhm.
July 4th, he's going to come out and say a big announcement. So is that going to affect our economy? Maybe. Are we going to be on the same ship? Is Trudeau going to make peace? I don't know, but we hope so. And whoever gets in power next in the next 4 years, I hope he takes away this carbon tax at the pumps.
Yeah, not only the pumps, it's on natural gas, it's on everything, dog.
It's on everything. It's on everything. I know Alberta got rid of it, so their gas right now is at 98 cents, which is good. That's decent. We're paying here an average about $1.16 to $1.20 a liter.
Mm-hmm.
Up and down, up and down. But
Okay.
otherwise,
Okay, dog, go get some sleep. What time is it? 8, 9? It's 11 o'clock. Go to sleep.
okay, buddy.
I'll see
Tell
you
that-
tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon, and well, I'll let you know what we're gonna do for Mike in the night. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, buddy.
Okay,
You stay
ciao,
up-
ciao, bello.
Buddy. Ciao, ciao.
So that's Mario Desetti's the Lost Canuck, 2-time world champ on the show. Knows what he's talking about all the time. Look at this guy.
$75, 80, say 80, 80.
Fangulo. Anyways, okay, after prolonged period of decline, Sydney and Melbourne, which saw real prices fall 16.5. So here you go. Here's the first article. Australia. Look at this. Booming in Australia, in Melbourne. And then you go here. Boom. Sydney house prices to stop falling by the year end. No, it's not. Look at Perth. Look what happened to Perth. It's like this, and then it goes down like this. 6-year correction. Look at this. If it's a booming, Sydney apartments in spotlight as developers ramp up incentives to clear oversupply of stock. So they're giving free champagne. Look at this. 12 months of mortgage, $50,000 bonuses, and furniture vouchers if you buy this overpriced box in the sky in Sydney. And my friends watching the stateside, it's not your typical apartment that you'd buy somewhere in Tampa for like 140 grand. That's like $1 million for like a 1-2 bedroom there. It's like $1 million, not pesos. So who else we got here? Zombie Apocalypse is leaving us a link here. Yeah, Buffalo. Okay, Speedy Biker saying you can get a house in Buffalo for 76 large. That's 91,000 Canadian. I mean, you can only live and sleep and breathe at one place at one time. You're going to go to sleep like every other human in the world. Why do you need to sleep in a multi-million-dollar bungalow? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Gary, Steve, if you want to come on, it sounds like you're really you're tired yesterday. Hey, you're making me tired now. You were tired yesterday when we did that interview. E-Bank-U in the house. Good to see him. That's how it works. Everybody invests into something. They use propaganda to pump it up, even though there is no actual value. That's it. That's what you call blowing hot air into the bubble. Speedy Biker says, what's different from there and Niagara, Canada? Nothing. We have all the, like, we eat, sleep. We all average eat 3 times a day. What are the difference? These imaginary borders, lines that we have between these countries that we created is a massive difference. From Canada, you go to Vancouver, okay? You buy a condo like this, a 1-bedroom for $790,000, $800,000. You go across that imaginary line, that border, and let's say you go down to Las Cruces, New Mexico. You buy that same condo for $66,000. But we all go to bed pretty much at the same time. We all wake up at the same time. We all pretty much do the same motions. We go through the same motions as humans, you know? We feel, we cry, we hurt, we eat, we sleep, we poop. we drive, we go through the same motions as human beings. Why is there such a huge drastic? Yeah, I understand. The economies are different. The wages are different. The this, the that, the this. Yeah. Runnar 500, good morning from Norway. Probably the most expensive housing market in the world. Oh, let's find out right now what's happening in Norway. Let's find out what's happening in Noruega. Let's go here. Here we go. Norway's housing market is losing steam. Norway's housing market is losing steam. Here's the residential price graph here from Norway. Holy crap. We got a person commenting on there from Norway. Do you have a lot of foreign investing in your town in Norway, or is it just locals investing back and forth and people punching up this bubble, or is it outside influence? Like, what's happening in Norway? After almost 8 years of uninterrupted growth, Norway's housing market is cooling sharply. The inflation-adjusted nationwide house price index rose a minuscule 0.04%. During the year of Q1 2019, year-over-year declines of 1.05%, Q2 in 2018, 0.32%, so it's all minuscule increases. In Q1, quarter-on-quarter house prices increased 2.36% during the latest quarter. The slowdown can be partially attributed to the implementation of stricter mortgage rules on January 1st, 2017, which were forced on restraining house prices in Oslo. In 2018, the total number of residential property sales in Norway fell slightly 0.6%. Rental yields yields are low 3.3%. So Norway is kind of looking at a decline. Oslo. What? Norway, typical city center apartment buying price monthly rent. Okay, to buy an apartment in Oslo, Norway, is 979,000 euros. And the rent per month is 2,556 euros. That's a lot of money. 2,556 euros. That's like 3,400 Canadian. That's more. Yeah, that's like 3,400 Canadian a month. Valentino says worked in Norwegian 2007 back. A Toyota Land Cruiser cost 78,000 pounds sterling. Wow. And Paeso saying they have 40% tax too. Woo! That's a lot of cheddar, says Zombie Apocalypse Gary. All right. Anybody else? Can we get on the show? Anybody available? Oh, Supreme Cannon. I don't know if he's on. I don't know if he's awake, man. Let's wake him up. Hello? Yeah, Supreme Cannon's internet's broken. He's having a really tough time getting on here. I see Urban Off-Gridding is on Skype. Is he available? Urban Off-Gridding, are you there, buddy? Buddy, are you there, bud? Man, nobody's home. Where's everybody at? Nobody's home. Jeez Louise. Oh, Lord Humongous, finally. Where the hell have you been, man? Where the bloody devil have you been? We haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, we got my girl here in Ontario.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. What about yourself?
Oh, you know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, tell us, what's the word on the street? What do you know?
Oh, yeah. I think now it started seeping in. Everybody has, first the realtors were not, they were not admitting that the market's correcting, but now they are openly.
Oh,
because
wow.
basically they still don't want to because it's their profession, Mike. You can't, people who are involved in the housing market, be it the builders, be it the realtors, they're not going to admit it, right? Because this is their money.
Of course, that's their bread and butter. So
Absolutely. So if I have a trade, I'm not going to say it's not doing well, because the moment I do that, I'm finished.
yeah. Yeah. So what's going on? Have you seen any houses lately, or are you still waiting for the market to correct?
I have absolutely been looking at houses, but I definitely don't go crazy, in the sense that I avoid going to open houses where the prices are crazy. But people are not being able to sell their houses. I know personally of people who've been trying to sell their houses since the past one after 2017. It slowed down, Mike. It slowed down desperately. And believe me or not, God has given me good sense. I am responsible for my own actions. We are all responsible for our actions. I refuse to buy something crazy. The prices are crazy. I mean, like, why do I have to pay to get myself ripped off? Why?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like buying into the bond market. Buying bonds right now with lowering interest rates, you're putting in money to lose it. What's the point?
Absolutely. I have money in the bank. I know it's not giving me any return, but it's safe, right? I'm at least not losing it.
Yeah, unless we go into negative interest rates.
Yeah, and we're gonna, I don't know, Mike, we can't predict what's happening, because we have to remember that it's not, I've been looking at what you've been talking, Mike. You've been talking at the right pressure points. You know that the gaps between the incomes are, the higher class and the normal middle class. I consider myself the middle class. Those gaps are increasing. And who's responsible for it? An oligarchic environment.
But
Right?
did you see Mike in the Night last week, the disappearing middle class?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and there's this huge delta between wages, but human production has gone up. Human production, we're producing more than ever, but our wages are not increasing to match it. So there's this huge delta between actual wages and work.
Yes, so that's what, it's like the days in 1930s. You remember before the Second World War, Mike? We are in that sort of a situation wherein the world was in a recession, and that's where we are. It's going to happen. It's happening all over. It's just not Canada or English-speaking countries. We are in that situation where the world is on a global recession. Now, how to come out of it? If you go back to the Second World War situation, that's when we came out of the recession, a war with guns. Now we're not going to have gun wars anymore. We're going to have trade wars,
Yeah.
right? So you can see that's the only way to get the world out of a recession. And it's accepted, Mike. We're in a governments don't rule us anymore. It's oligarchies. It's a rule of the few. And it is just not here. It's not anywhere in any specific country, Norway, Sweden, anywhere. It's everywhere. It's all over the world.
Did you watch from the beginning of the show?
No, I just came in. I just
Okay. The
switched
reason
off.
why, because I was discussing how we were discussing in Los Angeles how you watch this later, this show, watch it from the beginning later. You'll be so shocked to see what's happening right now in California. But Google said they're going to give, I don't know, $1 billion to help homelessness in California. The problem is like what you said earlier in the conversation. The problem is once the corporations give a taste of a good life to the poor man, they control them. They own them.
And we have to remember that, as you said, these profits, these QEs, quantitative easings, who's benefiting from it? I'm not increasing my shareholding, right? Those people who are owning those companies are increasing their shareholdings. So where is all this money which is being printed going? It's not coming to people like you and me, Mike. It ain't coming to us.
It's never coming to us. It's going to make sure that the people that are okay. A good example: if a bank is offering a good dividend, right, to its dividend shareholders, right, and I think TD is paying 4.9% dividend to its shareholders. Do you think TD by any means wants to lower any of its dividend payouts? The banks need to pay the shareholders for what they've invested in the banks on a monthly basis. Once the shareholders start pulling out of the banks and they lose confidence, banks go down. So who are the first people that the banks support? Not the customers, the shareholders.
So that's been a whole story now, Mike, and we have to remember here in Canada, every banks own each other. But it's just not here. All over the world, they own each other. So it's like they've created an oligarchic system, a rule of the selected few. Let's accept it. So we all have to. You see, things are changing. They're going to change in the world. People are becoming conscious. You're gonna see things changing. I just heard one of your was it the Lost Canuck? He was saying something July. That's definitely something will be happening because you just can't have people not having enough two nickels to rub. That's what I hear you say very often. That is so true. People don't have money. They don't have disposable income, Mike. And you got to have savings. You got to have people saving for a booming economy. How will you have people saving when the CPI and the GDP, it's a total mismatch. So the CPI is not factored into the GDP, Mike. It's just not.
Well, we discussed the disappearing pension show, remember?
Yes, I did hear that.
We were discussing the disappearing pensions and how people are not, don't have the capacity to take care of themselves after they retire.
Yeah, and so what people I hear now here around me when I walk, I spoke to a person who's 65, 70. They said that, you know what, they're selling their houses because they're going old and shifting to the smaller ones. The problem is the smaller units are also so expensive. Just a small condo is like, it's like a $400, $400K. I mean, like, what world are we creating for each other,
Well,
Mike?
if they go to Florida, they could buy a nice small retirement in a gated community with tennis courts for like 70 grand.
That's what I plan to do too, Mike. I don't plan to go anywhere, but I don't plan to buy something which I feel I am sorry, it's just not done. For me, they just across the border, as you said, right? And who created those borders? We did.
Yeah, exactly. But buying a house at that price becomes a handicap. When you spend a lot of money, it becomes a handicap to you because it takes away from the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's you basically this is not actually the house value should be decreasing because it's becoming old. It needs maintenance, right?
Right.
So people don't have money to get their houses revamped, and it's they've created a big bubble, the housing bubble. It's like at least humanity demands that you have basic necessities of life. Mike, this is not rocket science. Our politicians and we as human beings, these are the values we've been taught. So these values should be what we should live by.
Okay, I have something I want to tell you because you missed the beginning of the show. I actually want to bring this up again for people joining us. Okay, how many people do you think are homeless in the city of Los Angeles? Just your opinion. What do you think?
Maybe 20,000.
Okay, it's 38,000.
Oh, okay.
And LA County, 58,000. Now, it just dawned on me. It just dawned on me. In LA County, okay, 58,936 homeless people. That's bigger than the Canadian Armed Forces.
And it is a shame to all of us as humanity that this is happening, Mike. This is a day that we should dread. Because if it is happening to one of us, it's going to happen to all of us. They say it all catches up. This is not a good sign, Mike.
You know what scares me even more? It's because my kids are just out of the womb. My kids are small. And I don't want them to look at these videos that I was showing at the beginning from Fox News about all these streets and streets and streets of tents and homeless people sleeping on the street. I don't want my kids to be accustomed to think this is a normal thing that happens in our lives when it's not a normal thing. This is something that shouldn't be happening at this grand scale.
It's just not, maybe your kids are out of the womb. Mike, I have a son who's like a generation, what, the millennial, the next gen, whatever you call it. He's a millennial, or yeah, he's a 2000 born. And you know what? Like, even if you study, you work hard, go to the university, all you're going to get is the basic, what you call the minimum wages. And if you, I've been watching your videos, and you just rightly you say, people are left with nothing. The millennial, what we were earning was much more than what these guys are going to be earning after all that education.
But remember, when Mario was on the show with me, I said in 1982's wages, buying power, what you made at minimum wage today should be at, I think it was $52 an hour today, to make it the same as 1982, making $250 an hour.
So that's what my son gave a presentation, in fact, on how how Toronto is basically a city of housing woes. How people who are educated, it is so difficult for techies to even afford the city anymore. So I don't know what's happening. It's like they've given control of housing and prices. You can't do that, Mike. You just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
They should be intervening. You just can't let your economy go bust. I mean, like if it is so expensive, people have, the builders, they stop building. Their houses are not selling. Mike, their house is not selling. And so they are trying to give it to the realtors. The realtors are trying to sell. It's not working out.
No, it's not. It's not going to work out. You know why? It's because our big mistake was we pinned our GDP and our economy on friggin' housing. Housing is number one for our growth, and our country is number one. Number two is student loans. Number three is auto loans. And number four is unsecured debt. And how are we paying for all this? With service jobs. No production, no exports, no real jobs.
No. And that's it. In fact, that's where we should be revamping. We should be investing our resources in places which create economic activity, not take it away. It's like housing, take away the economic activity. I mean, let's be reasonable. We need cheap food. Now, what is happening? As you said, people are mass exodusing. Why? Because housing is so expensive. You can't afford to eat food. How will you live in a city like Toronto and afford good food? I mean, like, what are we doing to ourselves as human beings? What are we going to eat?
And the sad part is you could go to Beverly Hills and you could, with what you're paying, you could live in Beverly Hills for the same money you're paying in Toronto.
I don't believe in I don't believe in such expensive houses. There's no need to go out of your budget and then borrow money and then get into a debt trap, and then one should avoid these things. Lead a simple life, and that's what we as humanity should stand for. Everybody have enough, and create good opportunities for everyone, and let everybody live happy. Create, and see, we always forget around the system there is that shadow banking, and then that all negative things which get in, wherein your population doesn't have jobs and not happy, and you're creating problems in the social society, in the culture, and we'll have to face all those situations, Mike. Eventually, people they're going to have increase in crimes and things like that too. That's going to happen.
Can I ask you something? Are you realizing things like around you, like, are becoming a little bit more toxic, like neighbors are becoming more unfriendlier, like not exactly your neighbors, but people around are becoming more unfriendlier. People at work are becoming more toxic, and are you noticing that other drivers are being more toxic?
Yes, because we are all stressed out as human. That is the core problem. Everybody has too much on the head. Nobody wants to share their problems because they've been told not to. Keep hush. When I know when I was looking for a job here, now I'm not anymore though. because I help my husband in his accounts and stuff like that, and he needs a lot of help. But when I definitely know that you're told to keep quiet, not to talk about this, not to talk about that. And who's saying this? We human beings. It's a shame, We as human beings, we should encourage truthfulness. We should encourage, if I am wrong, I should be standing corrected, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it should be. Politicians should stand corrected, or a bank should stand corrected. People, if we don't know our weaknesses, how are we gonna be better than what we are today? If I don't know what I'm bad at, how am I going to be better than what I was yesterday?
Well,
I mean, I don't
but
know
I don't
why
want to
people.
hurt your feelings.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I don't want to hurt your feelings. That's the mentality we have nowadays. You're doing it wrong, but I'm not going to hurt your feelings. But instead of getting straight and doing things right so you understand what's going on, people go on through life making the same mistakes because they're never corrected.
We should be debating healthy. We should be talking where we're going wrong, so that we making this world a better place than what it was yesterday. We just should not be going back. There has to be something good has to come out of it. If something good is not coming out of it, believe me or not, either it's a problem. If it is not a solution, then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just gave
So
me idea. You just gave me an idea for the Mike in the Night show. And the idea for this Saturday's show is, where did it all go wrong? That's the title for next week's show. Where did it all go wrong? I want people to call in next Saturday for Mike in the Night, to call in and tell us, in your opinion, when did it all go wrong for humanity? When did we start losing?
I think we understood the meaning of capitalism to begin with, and I'll leave it for that bit for you to take it on from and build it up. But I think capitalism, Mike, is either we've not defined it properly, or we need to relook at it. We just need to relook at things. When you do something, you need to relook at it. What worked in the olden context may not work in a context of a globalized world today.
Capitalism, and I said this to you like a month ago when we spoke. Capitalism, it actually works if wages were adjusted to inflation.
Yes, and you see the taxes that the corporate taxes are so different than what we paying as personal taxes, right?
Mm-hmm. Corporate taxes, not only corporate taxes, property taxes on small businesses have been shutting down businesses in Vancouver like crazy.
Yes. And too, it's unaffordable to even buy a place, or rent a place, or to afford a place where you can run that business. So we not the whole system, when it's becoming so expensive, we are we just, it's like grinding to a halt kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I said the Second World War. That's a similar situation.
World War II pulled us out of it. Out of poverty, right? Because the 30s we had the big bust, and then in the 40s we were rubbing our toes and trying to figure out what to do, and then boom, World War II hits. Boom, it pulls us out of a recession. Boom, we create the boomer generation, and then we started inventing the living outside the cities. They started creating suburbs, and the suburbs started growing, and then that's it. And then from there, we started living off the bank. We deregulated our banking system. We went off the gold standard in 1972, and everything's been Mickey Moused. And ever since then, we are living off fiat money that doesn't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth and money that's not even real.
So a cycle coming to an end. Definitely, there has to be something good that has to come out of all this, something good. But we're not going to have any gun wars anymore. We're going to have trade wars, currency wars,
Yeah, we're entering a massive trade wars. Trade wars is a big deal because it affects every human being in the country that's being affected by tariffs and taxes. And
it's global now. It's not country. It's like global. What happens to one country will happen to all over the world. As you just said, Norway correcting July 7th, 17th. It's a similar trend. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us. We can't disassociate as humans. We need to understand, and that's what we are going to be on a brink of, a greater discovery that we are all highly connected as human beings. And most of us, beyond races, beyond whatever our cultures or religion, we are. There's some force that's we gonna be we are on the brink of a big the faith revolution, they say. Maybe that is probably where the world's gonna go, because we are in a world where machines have become stronger than humans.
Yes.
How are we
Yes.
gonna solve it?
Yes. And with everything turning towards machines now and robotics and computers, are humans going to be needed in another 50 years?
Oh, definitely. We can't lose humanity. Humanity is never gonna die, but we will come up with the new discuss something new, like the 2000, the tech revolution. There's gonna be a faith revolution now. There's gonna be something we're gonna find out about us as humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Mike, this is where we're gonna go, because we all will have to start looking within. When we need to speak, we do need to speak, like I just can't say I'm doing the right thing by keeping my mouth shut. It's not gonna work.
Well,
We
it's our God-given right to speak, right?
Absolutely. One must speak. Maybe people will not like it today, but eventually we pay the government opposition leaders to speak in the parliament too, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be a healthy amount of opposition to what's happening, because we all need to debate it out as humans. I think this is a very positive thing, to debate out things, to encourage people talking, because it sets our mind intellectually thinking. We need to think more
Yeah.
and move forward in life. You just can't not speak anything and be a passive, like a non-contributor, fence sitter sort of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. It's getting late. You got to go to bed. It's almost what time is it there? It's almost midnight there.
Yeah, yeah. I just switched on that because I switched on, and I did not get a notification. So I logged in back, and then I saw you online, and I said,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
no one gets notifications anymore. So
I know.
anybody that's like, if you go on right now and show what's trending right now, if you go on what's trending on YouTube, here, let's go look together. Let's see what's living on my balcony for 24 hours. That's what's trending. Hi, sisters. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to put makeup on. Some guy testing makeup here. The guy drank vegan fast food. Red velvet. What is this? I don't even know what this guy's doing. This guy's eating bananas here. Makeup collection. Metal detector. I'm going to find gold on the beach. This is what's trending on YouTube right now.
Yeah, they just want to keep it's rigged, Mike. Come on, we know it, right? They don't want any. As I said, eventually this has to change. If it will not,
Mm-hmm.
something else will come where you can voice your own opinions. It has to. There is no way that you can have human beings not talking. We gotta reach out. We're
Yeah.
humans, like connecting.
We have to. We need to connect. And
And
unfortunately, channels like mine pretty much will stay underground like they are now. They won't be promoted. They won't be found. It's an underground community of people that find each other like we all found each other here on this channel. And we just have to go to the underground like we are now. There's the
yeah,
only...
and that's how I found you was like searching about Ontario housing market or things like that. Then you definitely come up, Mike. You do.
I do? Okay.
Yes, you do.
That's
If you
good.
just do a search, yeah. So it's okay. And ending on the note, just saying a goodbye on that note, everybody understands that the housing needs a correction, just that the professions are not. Because, if it's corrected, people will buy more, people will sell more. And rather than looking at the greed, I think even realtors need to put in a word by saying that, yes, there needs to be some sort of a re-looking at the trade. And like if people buy more, sell more, eventually they make more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they just want to sell at a higher rate. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
No, it's not, because
Nobody.
people don't make enough.
Yes. So nobody is going to benefit out of it. Let there be reasonable, affordable housing wherein people can buy what they want and lead a happy life. Eventually, we all need to live happy.
Of course,
Right?
because, we die. We'll only take one thing with us when we die, and it's our memories. So make good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, we will. Humanity will. We'll find a way to get there eventually. We always get there.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you, and we'll have you on short again.
Yes, definitely. Pleasure talking to you. Have a lovely day.
You too. God bless you.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, so that's from out in Ontario. Anyways, who else we got here? So look, guys. No Makeup Matrix. Cole, Kim, and Courts learn Tristan Jordy scandal. I can't believe 1.2 million people watched this. I can't believe 1.2 million people within this 14 hours spent 2 minutes and 8 seconds of their lives watching this. This is 2 minutes and 8 seconds of your life you will never get back. You'll never get that 2 minutes and 8 seconds again. It's gone. Buying and trying every That 19 mystery box. My dad decided to try everything in his last year. Purgatory. Extreme Cornhole. Yeah, I can't look at what's trending on YouTube. YouTube used to broadcast yourself on YouTube. You used to broadcast yourself, be yourself, now. So, yeah. eBank, saying, who is that caller? She has a good head on her shoulders. She's been calling in. It's Ashima. She's been calling into the shows. It's her third or fourth call in, and she's got a lot to talk about. She has a lot of knowledge too. eBank, said a lot of this. He was saying earlier that this stuff in the trending on YouTube is absolute garbage. I agree with him 1,000,000%. And I'm not saying these people are. I'm just saying that what we're being offered as trending should be a little bit more non-biased, because you could see where a lot of this crap is going. Ooh, this guy eats a Taco Bell. Ooh. The guy ate Taco Bell. You know what? I think we should never mind. I'm not going to go there. So guys, I'm going to ask you guys for a favor. I need you guys to pray for my dad. He's in the hospital, and I'm going to go visit him tomorrow. I've been there a few times to see him. It's under community here. If you go to community, you'll see a picture with me and my dad here. He's in the hospital in Kelowna. He's very sick. He came to visit me in Toronto. He came to visit me from Toronto, and he's getting his biopsy results in a few days. So I'm going to ask everybody to please pray for my dad. His name is Antonio Manuel Martins. And if you could please pray for my dad, please, it'd be very appreciative. That's all I'm asking for, if you could do that for me. Yeah. So I'm going to end that at that note. I'm having a good night tonight with you guys. So I want to end on a positive note. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join the show and be in the comment section. And let's pray for Antonio Martins, my dad. And I really, really hope he pulls through this one. And he's only 65. So, that's all I'm asking for, guys. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for joining the show. And if you want to buy me a coffee, don't forget to support me on Patreon for $1 a month. And I'm on Subscribestar for $1 a month if you want to support this transmission. Or not, no, support me for coffee. That's what I want. Buy me a coffee, people. Good night, everybody. Good night, people in Australia. Good night, people in Toronto, New York, Miami, London, New Zealand, wherever you're from, the United States, Canada. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see each other on through the week, but you'll see me on Mike in the Night Saturday night. And Saturday night's show is going to be a good one because I want call-ins. I want 5-minute call-ins. I want people to call in every 5 minutes. Where did it all go wrong? I want your opinion on where you think things went wrong to humanity. Was it too much war? Was it too much printing money? Was it the banks? Was it women? Was it men? Was it the church? Was it schooling? What was it? When did it all go wrong? I'll see you Saturday night from Mike in the Night. Thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to support this transmission, share one of my videos. Thanks for watching.